Everyone's talking about AI, but here's the real question. Is it actually changing how you run your business or just giving you more data to look at? Because in short-term rentals, data has never been the problem. Knowing what to do with it is. In this episode of Host Planet Bitesize, powered by Hostfully, I'm joined by Melanie Brown from Key Data. She's going to break down 5 ways AI is reshaping the data landscape and what it actually means for hosts and property managers. Let's get straight into it. Melanie, thank you for joining us on Host Planet Bitesize. You're going to share 5 ways AI is reshaping the data landscape in the world of short-term rentals. So what's number 1?
Number 1 is it's moving us all away from manual reporting and towards AI-driven decision making. So Key Data, obviously a data platform. Historically, most of these data platforms have been about visibility. Like you're logging in, you're looking at a chart, you're trying to understand what the chart says, and then you're trying to understand what it means for you. And so a lot of teams are now using AI to do that. They're exporting reports, they're using a native AI within that dashboard. They're asking questions that way and saying, hey, chat, like, what does this chart show? And what should I be doing based off of this information?
Okay, so AI is really helping property managers to understand what's actually going on and presumably to create reports and to run off things for owners very quickly.
Yeah, and saving them from having to interpret a chart or graph on their own. Like a lot of property managers are reasonably so not data experts. And so it helps speed up that time to just like read and understand what the data is telling them.
Fantastic. Okay, then. So what's the second way?
The second way is from data overload to faster, more prioritized decisions. There is so much data floating around in the vacation rental space right now, which is like a lovely spot to be in. It's different than where everybody was 10, 15 years ago for sure. But again, property managers usually not data experts. They're looking at all this data. They're trying to understand what to do with it and where to start. AI can help them understand what matters now, where the biggest opportunity is, what's worth your time. It can pull a lot of this data together and say, here's the overall theme or overall trend. Like, here's how your occupancy relates to your stay length, relates to your booking window. So it helps them understand that and understand where to start faster.
So those suggestions then for like how you can improve your business, is that something that's happening automatically, or are you as a property manager having to prompt it and ask?
It depends on the way they've set up the system for sure. So a lot of managers are still exporting a report, uploading it to chat, uploading it to Claude, and saying, hey, here's the information I have. Where do I go from here?
I see. Okay, then. All right, then. Quick pause. This series is powered by Hostfully. If you want to run a more professional short-term rental business, Hostfully gives you everything in one place, from property management software to digital guidebooks that enhance your guest experience. Scan the QR code on screen if you're watching on YouTube, or hit the link in the show notes to find out more. Host Planet listeners have access to 2 special offers: $500 off onboarding for the property management software and 30% off digital guidebooks for life. There's also a link in the show notes to book a demo with Frank Bosey, who's a big friend of our show. All right, back to it. What's number 3, Melanie?
Number 3 is it's helping managers shift from more reactive reporting to proactive operations. So in a lot of these systems now, AI is watching your data all the time. And it's raising that red flag and saying, hey, like here's a shift, here's a trend that you need to be keeping an eye on earlier. Versus historically, people have logged into a data platform once a week, maybe once a day for some of them, and said, okay, what happened overnight? What is already happening? And so it can help people catch pacing issues earlier. If their occupancy is lower for a certain stay period, AI may notice before they do. It can help them do something about it while there's still time to course correct, which means, higher revenue figures.
And I imagine the more historic data that the AI receives, the more opportunity there is for it to flag things which look a bit weird.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Okay, then. So what's way number 4?
Way number 4 is I'm going to talk about what it's going to take to succeed for property managers. So let's get into the tips of how this is going to work. The first one is like you need to have all your data talk to each other. So connectivity is more important than ever, especially across a really complicated tech stack for a couple of managers or most managers. So one of the biggest opportunities AI can offer is starting to have your owner reporting talk to your revenue managers, and suddenly you can give your owners a more holistic look about what's actually happening in your property, right? If your CRM is connected to your market data, you can start to send like automated alerts ahead of a big shift or a big event in the market. And so that's going to be the real unlock for a lot of people, is when those systems start talking to each other instead of being totally separate and siloed.
Yeah, I've been speaking to a few property managers about the impact of AI, the ones who are really digging deep into it. And a lot of them speak about the importance of giving the AI as much foundation and as much data as possible. I mean, how important is that from a property management point of view to make sure that you're not missing a tool that might provide extra data to improve your business?
It's foundational to making this work. And the part of this that people are starting to talk about more and more is context. And that's what your data can do. So these models out of the box, until they're really well trained, like they don't understand your business. They don't understand what decisions you're trying to make, why you're trying to make them, and how, like the way you can respond to them. And so like giving these tools context is more important than ever. That's all of the data they have access to, but it's also training them to think like you think, to say like, here's how I look at this data, here's the decisions I'm making, and then here are the ways I can respond to that later. So that context layer is, I think, what a lot of people are missing. And they're just trusting these models out of the box, which makes sense. But then those models are basically only trained on what they can find online, and they don't know exactly what's going on with your own business and your own company.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm noticing this with various LLMs, and Claude Cowork's a good example as well. And for one thing, recently, I created a piece of content with Claude Cowork, and then I edited it afterwards, and then put it back in and showed it what I'd done. And then it came back and was like, "Oh, I see what you've done. Oh yeah, I'll do that next time." So the more you can help it learn, the better it's going to be. Again, it comes back to, the more data, the more things you can share with it, the more benefits you're going to get in the long run. Okay, then Melanie, way number 5.
Way number 5 is make sure all your data is in order. There's this old saying of like garbage in, garbage out when it comes to data that is more relevant than ever in the age of AI. As we talk about connecting all these systems, like what people are starting to learn that I think data professionals have known for a much longer time is that a lot of people's data is not in good shape. Like some PMSs allow people to just put free form fields in for state types or booking source, and then it has to be normalized into like this was made on Airbnb versus Verbo. Some property management systems obviously do that way better than others, but at Key Data we kind of see that large range of data quality issues. Same thing in your CRM. Like, are you tracking when a contract is going live or coming offline for a property? Do you have owners in there, and how you found those owners or how they found you? Like a lot of people's data spaces are just not set up to support these really deep insights that they're going to want to start learning. And again, a lot of property managers, a lot of people in general are not data experts, and they don't necessarily have the team to do so. And so I think that's where vendors are going to be more important than ever, is to help clean up that data, to normalize it, to standardize it, and to start feeding it into these models to make sure the answers are high quality and that you get the same answer to the same question across systems.
Yeah, it's going to help you run smoother operations. And then eventually, if you're looking to sell your business, this is going to help a lot, I would imagine.
Yes, definitely. And I think part of it is people often don't understand what data they need to make these decisions. Like when we talk about owner reporting, people have this wide range of like what information owners want access to. Like some owners want to know everything. Some owners don't want to know anything. You're going to freak them out if you tell them what's happening. Like with the World Cup, they just don't need to know that. And so I think people are going to start to see that there are these data points they need to track to make AI really, really useful. So I'm curious to see what that next stage of like data looks like for the space too.
Absolutely, yes. Clean up your data, people. Okay, then, Melanie. So give us the lowdown on Dex AI and what you guys are doing at Key Data and where people can find out more.
Yeah, so Dex AI is really exciting. It's a great example of what becomes possible when you have connected systems, when you've got clean data feeding those systems, and built-in context. So I think one of my very first points, I talked about people are exporting a chart from a platform and uploading it into ChatGPT and then asking a question. At that point, the AI, the model only knows what you gave it. So it's working off of this one snapshot. It's working off of, let's say, just a weekly occupancy report. Dex AI is built into the key data platform. And so it gets access to the full data set for that property manager. So it's looking at stay lengths and booking windows and rates compared to last year or rates compared to your competitor in the market. And so now instead of just saying, 4th of July in the US occupancy is low, it can explain that booking windows are shorter than last year. Like that demand is there, but booking windows are it's taken a while for people to start booking those stays. They can say stay lengths are a little bit shorter. So that's going to impact your overall occupancy rate, or you're priced below the market or above the market and you need to start adjusting your rates to make sure you're getting your fair share. And so it's not just explaining the market, it's not just describing the problem, it's starting to diagnose it and say, like, here are the levers you have access to, which is really fun.
Fantastic. And where should people go if they want to find out more about Dex AI and key data in general?
Yeah, come to our website at keydatadashboard.com. There's lots of product overviews and also ways to reach out and schedule a demo with the team.
Fantastic. And we'll put all those details in the show notes. Melanie, it's been a real pleasure. Thanks for joining us on Host Planet Bitesize.
Thanks for having me, James.
All right, over to you. Are you using data to make decisions or just to track performance after the fact? Drop your answer in the comments. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and share it with another host or property manager who needs to see it. Don't forget those Hostfully special offers. Scan the QR code or hit the link in the show notes to get $500 off PMS onboarding and 30% off digital guidebooks for life. This is Host Planet Bitesize, powered by Hostfully. Until next time, happy hosting.